The next slide covers financial benefits of the potential relocation to the Abbey campus. For many years, Benedictine has operated in what I would call a culture of survival, which is one where there is a minimum number of students that we have to get to in terms of enrollment and admissions every year to make our budget and proceed in strength to the next year and 3 succeeding that year. Obviously, each freshman class the size of that class has financial implications beyond just that year, but for 4 successive years. By the relocation, we transition that culture to one of strength, unity, and a culture of growth. What are some of the factors in that? On the expense side, there are a number of efficiencies that are gained in maintenance, in transportation, and utilities from consolidating on one facility vice maintaining 2 facilities, which impact the total operating budget of the school. Obviously, the current debt mentioned earlier at a figure of $2.7 million, and the debt service paid on that debt every year is not just diminished, but completely eliminated. And perhaps as important is a transition with our annual fund. The annual fund, the Father Adrian Education Fund, are monies raised outside of tuition and fees paid by students every year for the operations of the school. And a large portion of that annual fund is dedicated to the utilities and bills of the school, not glamorous items, and even the most humble men and women who contribute so generously to the school want to know and believe that their dollars are going to true advancement. And by advancement I mean new microscopes for the chemistry department, better computer software and technology to facilitate the academic program, or better benefits that allow to attract the highest quality faculty members for the execution of our curriculum. Because of the efficiencies gained and the decreased pressure on attaining a certain number of students every year for enrollment, and broadening our base of appeal by being located closer to the vast majority of our student population and those who apply but don't choose Benedictine every year, we decrease the need for that annual fund to be consumed on things like utilities and allow for it to be transitioned to true advancement, to bricks and mortar, to better programs, to better facilities for the accomplishment of all parts of our program, academic, athletic, and beyond. The next series of slides cover case studies of similar Catholic academic institutions that have undertaken similar ventures in terms of relocating their school at some point in their history. We chose schools similar to our own in nature, although if you look around the country at Catholic schools that were built some time ago, many of them experience the same phenomenon, and that is a city that has expanded, where the school was built to serve a population that was located near the school, but as the city changed and demographics changed, the student and family populations of the school relocated to locations outside the local neighborhood, and so they moved for similar circumstances. Almost nothing is impossible in this world, and these case studies show that other institutions have been successful in their relocation and have grown in strength as a result of their relocations. The first case study, St. Thomas Academy, an all-boys military school. You can see cadets here in that picture, not too dissimilar in their uniform from our cadets in years past, standing in front of their old academic facility, which was a beautiful building, not dissimilar from Benedictine's beautiful academic facility on Shepherd Street. Their school was founded in 1885, moved in 1965, and today are very strong with almost 700 students. They do offer some middle school grades as well. Case study number 2, De La Salle Collegiate, an all-boys school in Michigan, founded in 1926 with only 85 students, moved in 1982, and today have 832 boys in their new location. Case study number 3, St. Francis Prep in New York, now the largest Catholic high school in the United States, was originally built in the Bronx. You can see a picture of their beautiful older academic facility in the upper right corner of the slide. Was founded in 1858 as an all-boys school with 35 boys. They moved once in 1952, further away from the urban center, and then again in 1974, at which point they became co-ed. Today they are the largest Catholic high school in the country with 2,750 students with 25,000 alums. Interesting anecdote, one of the parents of our current students attended the all-girls school that merged with St. Francis Prep in 1974 when they relocated both the boys and girls school to their new facility in Queens. She was a sophomore at that time and said that that was a difficult period, both for the girls and the alums of their school and the boys of St. Francis and the alums who had gone to school when it was located in the Bronx. Not only difficult because they were relocating, but also because they were becoming co-ed, not something that is in the future for Benedictine. We will maintain our all-boys military Catholic model. However, what is interesting is, as she said, while that period was difficult and emotional for students and parents and alumni, 2 years later, upon her graduation, she and her classmates felt that they were alums of St. Francis Prep, and their alumni events are still frequented not only by the students who graduated from the new facility, but still from those from their older facilities in the Bronx, and it is a proud institution and one that has grown in strength as a result of the logic behind their relocations. Case study number 4, Christian Brothers Academy in Memphis, Tennessee, founded in 1871 as a college and a high school, moved in 1940, and then again in 1965, this time the high school only, and today they have 800 students. Case study number 5, another Christian Brothers Academy school, all-boys military in Albany, New York, founded in 1859, moved not once, twice, but 3 times, in 1882, 1939, and 1998. Today they have 600 military boys between grades 6 through 12. And this last slide, closest to our home, case study number 6, is Our Lady of Good Counsel in Washington, D.C. Was founded in 1958, located near Walter Reed Military Hospital in D.C., but over the years, as Washington, D.C. area expanded, the student population of their school moved out to the suburbs, and recently, in 2007, the school moved to serve that population to Olney, Maryland, which is only 10 miles north of their old facility, but significantly different both in its development. It looks much similar to Western Henrico in the Goochland area of the Abbey campus. And today they are very strong with 1,200 students. My wife graduated from this school in 1993. In her graduating class there were 80 students, and they were in a culture of survival. Now they dominate, not just with their academic program, but athletics as well, in all sports. These next series of slides have to do with frequently asked questions regarding our relocation. First, our relationship with our sister school, St. Gertrude. St. Gertrude is an intimate part of our tradition and history, given the proximity of the two schools, but also in the way they interact, specifically in the sponsor and officer tradition, and the social events that our students, boys and girls, engage in together. myself and the president of St. Gertrude have worked together to discuss the relocation and the intent that we will preserve all of those traditions in the sponsor and officer program, as well as our current events and dances, which we've added to just in the last year to grow the bond between the two schools. A common question is, well, what will happen to the events that we conduct together during the day? But the fact is that in our current operating model, there is only one event that the schools engage in together during the daytime related to the sponsor officer program, which is the Sponsors Day Review, which is easily accomplishable in the evening as we do all of our other events, or by transporting students to a location closer to St. Gertrude where we can accomplish the same mission. Some other things that we've added in recent years are social development events for younger underclassmen at school, freshmen and sophomores, which have been received very positively. And this year, the conduct of a joint art show and gallery exhibit between the two growing art programs of the schools. A common question is, how will Benedictine serve not just St. Gertrude, but St. Benedict and other constituents, students and families who live closer to the current high school on Shepherd Street than the Abbey campus? We certainly do not want to lose these students' enrollment, and we want to preserve the value that they add to the culture and climate of the school. We will preserve that by offering a program of inter-school transportation. How will we do that? Well, we have a fleet of buses at Benedictine that we use every day to transport students to and from the Abbey for athletic practices and events after school. Obviously, consolidating on one facility, that need goes away, yet we maintain our fleet of buses. So what we will do is provide a bus service from a location at St. Gertrude, St. Benedict, other feeder schools, and an east side pickup for those students who are hailing from the eastern side of Richmond to ease the parents' commute responsibilities for getting their students to Benedictine. So as a result of that program, we'll be able to, for many folks, make their day even easier, where they can drop their daughter and son or cadet and elementary or middle school student off at one location, and we will transport them the rest of the way. Other frequently asked questions concerning St. Benedict's Parish. Very important also in our history, and not just in the history of the relationship between the school and the church, but in the church's role in the larger Catholic Diocese of Richmond. The church will actually gain property in its property lines as a result of the potential sale of the school property. Part of their property lines do not include facilities currently used by the church, including the porch, part of the sanctuary, and sacristy. Those will be written into the property lines of the church with an eventual contract with the museum, as well as a parking arrangement that is provided for within the letter of intent and eventual contract with the museum. That agreement would be between the church and the museum. So it is not a promise from the museum to Benedictine that they will serve the church with their parking needs, but actually an agreement that is signed between the church and the museum itself. Regarding masses between St. Gertrude and St. Benedict's Church, with St. Gertrude and Benedictine, we'll continue those at St. Benedict's Church because the facility there is most conducive to serving the student populations and faculty populations of both schools. It is a beautiful church, and with a great pastor and community that we wish to continue a strong relationship with and continue those services between Benedictine and our sister school.